What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Johnny K Picks. And in this video, I'll be going over my full card picks and predictions along with the bets that I'm looking at so far for UFC 311 Makhachev versus Tsarukyan 2. First things first, please hit the like button for me, subscribe if you are new, or if you just haven't yet, turn on the notifications so you know when I put out my videos, when we go live on Wednesday nights. If I do anything else, you never know. Leave some comments below on how well you did at UFC Vegas 101. What fights you're looking forward to for this week, UFC 311. I know there's a pretty good amount of them. This is a pretty good card. And check out my Patreon, patreon.com/JohnnyKpicks. I put out all my UFC content there. You can support my channel and my Patreon for $5.99 a month. You can also become a free member. I also do UFC Survivor Pool contests. I do NFL stuff like that. NBA, all that good stuff. So definitely check it out. You can just become a free member if you want. But if you want to support, that's awesome as well. So yeah, UFC Vegas Vegas 101 actually hasn't happened yet. I'm doing this video early before I go out of town, so I don't know what happened. So I'm gonna guess that Hebus won, and we'll see what happens with that. So that's all I'm gonna say. But so this is gonna be a quick one. I'm not gonna really talk your ear off here. So let's get right into it. We got 14 fights. So far, so good. There's no fizzled or cancellations, but we will see. It's more than a week away at this moment. So we got the first fight. It's going to be Tagir Ulanbekov versus Clayton Carpenter. And Ulanbekov is a solid wrestler. He's got very good takedowns, kind of a chain wrestler. Decent striking. Doesn't really use it all that much, but he can strike. Takedown defense is pretty good, but he's durable. He's got good cardio. He can wrestle for 3 rounds, and that's pretty much his bread and butter. Carpenter is a well-rounded guy. I'd say his grappling is a little bit better, but he does have pretty good striking. He's a little hittable on the feet, though. He does have good pop in his hands, good submissions, but he does like to push forward, and sometimes he does get in the firefights, and so we'll see what happens with there. So this is a pretty good matchup. I'm going to go with Ulanbekov. I do think he's going to get that wrestling going. I don't think Clayton's going to be able to work that grappling like he has in the last fight against Lucas Rocha, also against Ronderos. I mean, these are pretty lower level guys, if you want to say. He did beat Edgar Charas, which was a good win in Contender Series, but this is a huge step up in competition. So got to go with Ulanbekov to win. I'm going to say by decision, but Ulanbekov, he did get a rear naked choke against Cody Durden. Cody Durden, he kind of slows down as the fight goes on. I don't know if Clayton will do that. But I'll say by decision. Wouldn't shock me if it's going to be maybe a late finish, but I think it goes to decision. Next one, Grant Dawson versus Diego Ferreira. And we got Dawson, who's a very good grappler. He's got very good submissions, pretty good takedowns. He also likes to sort of chain wrestle, always try to take you down. That's his bread and butter. Striking is just okay. His chin can be a little dusty, which does worry me a little bit in this fight. But he also has good cardio. He only really tuckered out in one of those fights where it was a draw. I can't remember who it was off the top of my head, but it was longer than here. And then the only, bad look there was a little left jab by Bobby Green. Other than that, he's been, putting us to sleep with his grappling and wrestling, if you want to say. But he's a very good grappler, especially if he takes the back. So it's something to think about there. Diego Ferreira, he's a solid guy, well-rounded, good grappling, good submissions. His striking is pretty good. He does have power in his hands. Getting up there in age, he's 40 years old, so that is a big red flag. But he did have a good win against Mateusz Rebecki. He did have a good win against Michael Johnson, so maybe the fountain of youth has touched him, but he is that 40-year-old guy. So but before that, he was losing by split. He lost by knockout. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to go with Grant Dawson. I think he does get that wrestling going. I know, who was it? Mateus Gamrot was able to get the wrestling going in that fight against Diego Ferreira. I know maybe you rate Gamrot's wrestling a little bit better. He's a little bit more explosive with his takedowns, but he doesn't really have the good jiu-jitsu as Grant Dawson does. And I think he could be able to keep Ferreira down and win minutes that way. I don't see a finish anywhere, anything. unless maybe Grant Dawson takes the back and he has 3 minutes to work maybe later in the fight. But other than that, I think Dawson cruises his way to a decision. He probably bores, puts us to sleep for 3 rounds, and we'll see what happens. So give me Dawson to win by decision. Come on. Next one. Ricky Turcios versus Bernardo Sopage. And this fight was supposed to happen a while ago, but I believe Ricky Turcios during weigh-ins had something going on. I don't know exactly, but Turcios, he's got okay striking. He does throw a ton of volume. A lot of it doesn't hit. Most of it, I always remember that one fight against Ayman Zahabi where he was just basically throwing punches at the air, if you want to say. But he did have a good win against Kevin Natividad. I don't know if he won that fight, to be honest. He did look good for a little bit against Raul Rosas Jr. until he got subbed. But he does have good grappling. His takedown defense is not good at all, but he does have good reversals, good sweeps to get back up or take advantage and maybe take the back and stuff like that. Sopage, very good striker, I think. He's got quick hands. He's got good footwork. He's got good pop in his hands, likes to push forward. He's pretty aggressive. Good takedowns, too. Good grappling. He can be a little hittable, as we saw in his last fight against Vinicius Oliveira, but he did take that fight on short notice, and he was winning. He won the first 2 rounds. He showed some grappling, showed some good striking, and then he just tuckered out. And then there was that flying knee KO, which destroyed him. I'm glad he took at least 10 months off, so that's good for his chin. And also, too, he doesn't really have to worry about getting knocked out because Ricky's not going to be able to knock out pretty much anybody in the UFC, I'll say. So I'm going to go with Sopage. I went with Sopage last time. I'm going to go with him again. I think he gets this one done. I don't know if he finishes him. I think he can. Maybe later in the fight, maybe by knockout. But I'm going to go with decision here. Ricky Turcios is pretty good, and he's pretty durable, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to go with Sopage by decision. Next one, Peyton Talbot versus Raoni Barcelos. And this is going to be a decent fight. I mean, this is a little bit of a step up for Peyton. Hani is no joke, but we got Talbot, high volume striker with power. He always pushes forward. He's got very good cardio, solid takedown defense, a little bit unorthodox at times if he does try to get taken down. He always scrambles to get back up. I remember that one time he basically did a flip to get back up. But he can be controlled on the mat. If he does get on his back, he doesn't want to do that, but he's pretty good at those scrambles. Always works the body. He's just a very good striker and very patient and good power in his hands. Barcelos is a well-rounded guy. He's getting up there in age. He's 37 years old, I believe. I actually think he might be a little bit older, but hey, it is what it is. But he's well-rounded, good striking. He's got good wrestling. He's kind of been showing off his wrestling a little bit more as of late. Good power in his hands still. He's got good takedowns. His cardio is pretty good. Normally pretty durable. I know he was knocked out against Umar, but that was a very good shot. Other than that, though, he's pretty durable. But this is a step up for Peyton, but I think he's going to be able to get this one done. Barcelos has a lot of miles on him. I think Peyton's pretty good. He's a pretty good striker. I don't know if Hani's going to be able to wrestle him. I don't think he's going to be the better striker here, but I think it'll be a good fight. I'm interested to see this one, so give me Peyton to win. I'm going to say by knockout. I just think Peyton usually gets a knockout, so that's what you got to do, right? I mean, knockout, submission. He did get a decision against Reyes Cortez, but most of the time he is getting some finishes, and Hani Barcelos getting up there in age, like I said. So Peyton by knockout, maybe second or third round. I don't think it'll be first, but I said that before against Cameron Saman, and he destroyed him. So, yeah. Next one, we got Zach Reese versus Cedric Dumas. And Reese, well-rounded guy, solid striking with good power. He does have good takedown defense and grappling. Most of his wins are in the first round. So he does have one decision. I believe it was his last fight against Jose Medina. But Jose Medina is maybe one of the most durable guys in the UFC. But look, all of these finishes he has, whether he wins or loses, have been in the first round. The longest fight in the first round was 4 minutes. So he's very dangerous early. He can get And like I said, he's well-rounded. So if he does get taken down, he's good off his back. He can go for takedowns. He's got good grappling, good wrestling, good. He's pretty well-rounded. But Dumas, aggressive striker, good power. He can wrestle and grapple if need be. Cardio is a little bit of an issue. And, you know, other than that, I mean, I don't really rate Dumas all that well, even though he is getting some good wins. Dennis Tululian isn't the greatest guy, but that was a good win. He got knocked out against Ruziboyev. That was kind of controversial with the eye poke, maybe. Abu Azaitar was a little interesting. Cody Brundage was a little interesting. He slows down a lot in his fights, too, especially after 1.5 rounds. Zach Reese looked pretty okay against Jose Medina, but after a round and a half, and that was the one thing about him. I think a lot of people just didn't know if he had enough cardio. He kind of showed it there. So I'm going to go with Zach Reese to get this one done. I'll say like maybe first or second round finish, maybe submission. But, you know, Dumas has a chance to win this fight if he catches him, but I don't think he's going to catch him. He's kind of slow, very like low volume, but he's very athletic. He's got a long reach, 60 or a 79-inch reach. So he can maybe clip him early, but I'm going to go with Reese. Next one, it's Carol Hosa versus Aylin Perez. And Hosa, high volume striker. She can wrestle, doesn't really use it when she needs to, and she uses it when she shouldn't. All that, one of those things. She does like to push forward. She's very strong. Takedown defense is just is okay, but yeah, that's pretty much her in a nutshell. But we got Perez. You know, I would say she's a better wrestler, grappler. She's got pretty good takedowns. Her striking is just meh, good ground and pound. But she does slow down as the fight goes on. She is durable. She'll stick it out. She'll try to survive. The cardio, though, to me, that's where the biggest issue is, especially early. She does like to go for those takedowns, and she usually doesn't keep her opponents down. So that's what worries me in this fight. I do think she might win round 1, look good, and then start fading. We've seen it in a lot of her fights. You know, that fight against Daria, I don't know if she won that fight. Well, she did win that fight. It was submission, but she wasn't looking good until then. The Edwards fight was that was the fight I'm talking about. That was very close, if you want to say. Lucy Pudilova, very close fight. Maybe probably shouldn't have won that fight, but I think Carol Host is a little bit better. I like her better on the feet. I think if she does get taken down, it's probably in round 1, and I just don't think Perez is going to be able to get any more takedowns after that. So we've seen Carol Hosed look good for all 3 rounds, especially with her striking. And I just think Perez does not have the 3 rounds of cardio to wrestle. So give me Hosed to win by decision. Maybe it's a good live betting spot here after the first round. Maybe bet Hosa. But other than that, that's what I'm going to go with. Next one, Johnny Walker versus Bogdan Gustav. And poor Johnny Walker. He is a fun guy, obviously, but he's got, I'll say it now, his chin's done. It's dusted. But he is a crazy, unorthodox striker. He's got power in his hands. His takedown defense is just okay. He's very tall, very long for the division. He's always tough to take down, like I said. But the biggest thing with him is when he gets pressured and his striking defense isn't good. And once literally any punch touches his chin, he literally falls over backwards and it's a knockout. It's hard to pick him now. I mean, you know the talent's there, but the chin's not. And then you got Bogdan Gustav. He's a powerful striker, unfortunately, for Walker. But he's got good takedowns, good ground and pound, pretty durable, okay cardio. You know, he did have a good win against Ryan Spann. I'll give him that. You know, Zach Pwalga was a pretty easy win for him. But, yeah, I'm going to have to go with Gustav. I just don't trust Johnny Walker's chin for 3 rounds. I don't think he's going to be able to touch Gustav either before Gustav does. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I can't pick or bet Johnny Walker anymore. Ain't going to happen. So I'm not going to get fooled. If Walker wins, cool beans. But I think Gustav touches him early, maybe first or second round. So first or second round knockout for Gustav. Next one, Jailton Almeida versus Sergey Spivak, Battle of the Wrestler Grapplers. And We all know both these guys. Almeida's an amazing grappler with very good submissions. He's got pretty good takedowns. His striking is pretty good. Well, it's okay. It's getting better. That's what I meant to say. But he mainly uses it to set up takedowns, and he wants to get this fight to the mat. He's pretty durable. He's got good cardio for 3 rounds, and we've seen him basically wrestle Derek Lewis for 5 rounds. So definitely got the cardio to do it. And we got Sergey Spivak, very good wrestler. He does have explosive takedowns. He doesn't really hold down his opponents too much. He kind of just takes him down and lets him back up and takes him down. Good ground and pound. He does have submissions when he's on top. Pretty durable himself, but sometimes if things aren't going his way, he might take the easy way out, if you want to say. But his bread and butter is wrestling. His striking is okay too. So this fight's definitely going to play out on the mat. Who's going to shoot first? Who's going to be able to hold their either guy down? And I got to go with Jailton Almeida. I think the jiu-jitsu is going to be light years better. If Jailton does get Sergey down, which I do think he can, I don't think Sergey's going to get back up. And I think it's going to be a finish after that. So give me Jailton to win first or early second round, maybe submission or ground and pound. But, Sergey has a chance, but I don't know, man. I mean, the only time we've seen Jailton lose is against Curtis Blades, and he was looking good in that fight until he wasn't. So, Spivak is looking good. He's young still, 29 years old for a heavyweight. Did lose against Cyril Gahn. He's been out wrestling a lot of these heavyweights, but there's not the one guy that I don't think he's going to be able to out wrestle or grapple is Jailton Almeida. So give me Jailton, first or second round finish. Still in the prelims, Rinya Nakamura versus Moon Gafarov. And Nakamura, very good wrestler, good submissions. He's got power in his hands. He throws bombs. Very good takedowns. He's very tough. He's very durable. A little wild on the beat sometimes. His striking is kind of a work in progress. He's more so a wrestler, grappler guy. We haven't really seen him all that much in the UFC yet. Some of these fights have been a little bit close, but, he does have the talent there. He's fairly young. He's 29. He's in his prime. So Gafarov, though, he's a solid wrestler. His striking is pretty good. He does have power in his hands. He does like to get the fight to the mat if possible. He can be a little hittable on the feet. He does seem to be finish dependent. So when a lot of his wins have come by finish, and a lot of his losses have come by decision. So if this fight goes to decision, more than likely he's not going to win. He's like I said, very durable, very tough, but he's looking to get that finished. So, this is an interesting fight, honestly. I know Nakamura is a pretty good size favorite, but I don't know. I think Gafarov has a pretty solid chance, but I'm still going to go with Nakamura because I just think he'll be able to keep it on the feet if he wants to. And I trust his wrestling a little bit more. I think it's a little bit more polished, if you want to say. And the striking, I like his striking a little bit more. And like I said, I know I said it was a work in progress earlier, but I think if he lands, he can get a knockout. So both these guys are dangerous. Both these guys are good wrestlers, but I just think Nakamura is just a little bit better fighter at the moment. But I think Gafarov does have a good chance to win this fight. This could be an upset, a pretty big one. I don't see too many upsets on this card, but I'm going to go with Nakamura. I'm not super confident. Like I said, I don't really agree with the line, but I understand that Nakamura is the favorite. So give me Nakamura to win by decision. I think he stuffs a lot of takedowns, keeps on the feet. I think he wins the striking exchanges, maybe gets some takedowns of his own, and wins that way. Main card, here we go. Beneil Dariush versus Moicano. Let me get this stuff out of here. And we got Beneil. He's been getting knocked out a lot lately. Well-rounded guy, though. He does have solid striking, good grappling, good wrestling. He's normally durable until his last 2 fights. 35 years old, maybe. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's been about, a year? Been a year now since Arman. He took that fight 5 months after Oliveira. So maybe his chin is a little bit better. But so we shall see with that. And then we got Moicano, who is an amazing grappler. He's got very good submissions. He likes to push forward. Pretty good striking, too. He can get clipped. He can be a little hittable on the feet, too. but he knows what he has to do. He's going to go in there. He's going to try to grapple. He's going to try to wear you down, wear you out, take the back, try to get the neck, ground and pound. He looked amazing against Benoit Saint Denis, and the ground and pound he did was just nasty. So I'm going Moicano, and I'm very confident in this fight. If he looks remotely like he did against Saint Denis, he should win this fight, and I'm going to say by a knockout, probably on the mat, ground and pound again, or maybe he does get a sub, he finds it. But that ground and pound, though, that he was doing 3 months ago against Benoit, I mean, there's not a lot of people that's going to survive that. Let's put it that way. So Moicano to win. I'm going to say first or second round finish. And also, I just don't trust Dariush's chin anymore. I think he's on the decline, and Moicano can't lose. He can't afford to lose, like he says. So I'm going to trust him. Next one, Kevin Holland versus Renier de Ridder. And we all know who Kevin Holland is. Very good striker. He's got good power in his hands. He has sneaky grappling with submissions like front chokes. Pretty durable, good cardio. His wrestling and takedowns aren't the greatest, and he can be controlled when he's taken down because his takedown defense is not great. And that's the key in this fight, because de Ridder is a very good grappler. He's got pretty good takedowns. His striking is meh. And, his bread and butter is get this fight to the mat, grapple, look for submissions. He is more submission over position for sure. So maybe there's some opportunity for Kevin Holland to escape and get some reversals or sweeps. But this one's tricky because I think if this fight's on the mat, obviously, I think de Ridder wins this one all day. If de Ridder can't get this fight to the mat, I think Kevin Holland wins. But again, I can't trust Kevin Holland. I can't pick him right. He does the opposite of what I think he's going to do. So I'm picking de Ridder to win. But so that means you probably should pick Kevin Holland, because this is one of the fighters where I just can't pick right, Kevin Holland, and I'm picking against him. I think de Ridder is a slight underdog, so give me him to win. I'll say by sub, maybe later in the fight. But, Kevin Holland's pretty sneaky. He doesn't like to get finished too often. The one, it was a rib injury. See, like that fight, he was looking good until the rib injury. So, and that was 2 months ago. Did he fully heal? This guy likes to fight every other card. And I don't know if he's more so like a prize fighter, let alone a fighter that wants to win the belt. So that always worries me a bit whenever I pick and or bet him. So give me de Ridder to win by submission. Next one, Yuri Prochazka versus Jamal Hill. Now, Prochazka, very crazy striker. He does a lot of spinning elbows, spinning fists, crazy uppercuts, keeps his hands super low. Very hittable, but he's very durable. I don't know about anymore because he's been getting knocked out against Pereira. And so maybe that chin's a little dusty now. But he has shown a little bit of grappling he can use. He does like to push forward. Like I said, doesn't check leg kicks. Jamal Hill, though, isn't really the best guy that does leg kicks, so I think he'll be okay. He's more so a boxer. Jamal Hill, though, very good striker. He has a lot of power in his hands. Quick straights right down the middle. That's usually his money shot, if you want to say. Doesn't have amazing takedown defense, though. He can get taken down, but he does work his way back up. And I think this fight plays out on the feet, obviously. His chin might be a little dusty with Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira is knocking out everybody in this division. So, this is a close fight. And I was kind of going back and forth a little bit. I'm going to go with Yuri, though. I feel like the crazy is going to be the way to beat Jamal Hill. And every time, other than Alex Pereira, I bet Alex Pereira both those times against Yuri. Yuri has always proved me wrong. So I'm going to go with Yuri this time. I wouldn't be shocked, though, if Jamal Hill gets a knockout. I think one of these guys gets a knockout. So we'll see whose chin is more dusty. 8 months ago from Pereira, 5 months ago against Pereira. Maybe Yuri's chin's a little more dusty. But give me Yuri to win by knockout. I think this will be a fun fight, though, for sure. Co-main event, we got Merab Dvalishvili versus Umar Nurmagomedov. Awesome fight. Looking forward to this one for sure. But Dvalishvili is a very good wrestler, very good takedowns. He's got very good cardio and pace. I think he shoots about 20 takedowns a fight. He's not very technical with his striking. He does use it to set up takedowns. He doesn't really control the fighter or his opponents on the mat when he does get takedowns. He's basically out cardios you. He does have power in his hands if he does land. But yeah, that's just him in a nutshell. He's going to try to out cardio you, out wrestle you, and then win that way by decision. But we got Umar, though. Super well-rounded and very good striker. He's got good power in his hands. He's got good wrestling. He's got good grappling. He's got good submissions. He's dangerous everywhere. He's pretty durable. Other than him getting caught against Bekzat that one time, you know, I haven't really seen him get hurt at all. And good cardio, too, for 5 rounds. So we'll see what happens. But I think this is the guy that can stop Merab in his wrestling. Maybe he uses Merab's wrestling to get on top of him. And I like his grappling a little bit more, Umar. The wrestling, to me, you know, it's just takedown after takedown after takedown from Merab. And I don't know if he's going to be able to do that in this fight. It is 5 rounds. We'll see what happens. But I'm going to go with Umar to win by decision. Both guys are super tough. And wouldn't be shocked, though. Wouldn't be shocked if Merab does what he does every time. That's just his game. It's hard to beat. But I think Umar is the guy to beat him. And Umar's 29 years old. I think he's been ready for a championship shot. And I think he gets it done by decision. And main event, Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan. And Islam, very good wrestler, very good takedowns, pretty good striking, good submission, good ground and pound, durable, good cardio. He can slow down a little bit in rounds 4 or 5. Other than that, though, I mean, he's pretty much good everywhere. I mean, there's really not a bad spot or a bad thing that he's, other than maybe cardio, like in the later rounds, maybe, but he still does very well. Arman, though, he's also a very well-rounded guy. He's got very good wrestling, very good scrambles. He can get taken down, but he always works to get back up. He's got very good cardio. He's durable. We've seen him get clipped a lot, but he always gets back up. You know, that one loss to Gamera, I don't think he lost that fight. And his other loss to Islam, very close-ish fight for Arman taking that fight on short notice. So everyone's waiting to see what this fight happens. They're both about the same. You know, Arman's a little bit younger. He's going to be a little bit smaller as well. I also think Islam's going to be a little bit stronger. So that could help him out in the wrestling department. Maybe keeping Arman down. Maybe stuffing the takedowns too. So, but I got to go with Makhachev. I just think right now he's the best. I think the only person that could beat Makhachev is Charles Oliveira, but that's just me. But yeah, give me Makhachev to win. I think this is going to be a very, very good fight. It could play out close. I'm going to say it goes to decision. I don't see either guy getting a finish. If there is a finish, it's probably going to be Islam, but it'd be like round 3 or 4, maybe 5. All right. That is it, guys. That is all 14 fights for UFC 311. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like button on your way out. And like I said, I did this fight. I did this video early for before I left to go out of town. So that means I will not be doing Defend Your Units on Wednesday night before this card. So sorry, but I will be back for February for all those cards, doing Wednesdays and doing this. But I wanted to get out my picks video early for everybody. And yeah, I'll see you then. Hope you guys do well. I'll find out how well I do for Vegas 101 in a little bit, and also for 311. So take care, good luck, and happy fight night.